If you look at the startup ecosystem across our region, right, Southeast Asia as well as India, as you know, we are very active investors across the entire region. Despite all the progress that we've made as an ecosystem over the last decade, there is a significant gender balance, right, when it comes to the startup ecosystem in our region, and it's true also across the world. So if you look at venture-funded startups, in India, only 12% of venture-funded startups have at least one female co-founder. In Southeast Asia, it's a little better, but still, only at 20%, right? So clearly, in our region, we need to have more than 12% in India and 20% in Southeast Asia of startups being founded by women. And what we're trying to do as a firm is to double down to encourage many more women to start up. So Spark is an initiative that we've had for several years. But what you're talking about is this week we launched the Spark, the Sequoia Capital, Spark Fellowship Program. And what this is we picked 15 companies, as you just mentioned, 15 amazing companies, 20 incredible co-founders of these companies. And we're going to be working with them over a year's period. We've given them a $100,000 equity-free grant. And then we've actually matched each company with one of our senior investors who spend a significant amount of time with them. We've also got each of them buddied up with one of the seasoned founders, either from Southeast Asia or India, in our portfolio, who will also spend a lot of time with them. And then we're actually going to help them sort of through the year, on all the set of topics that are important to get a seed stage company up and running. So that's really what the Sparks Fellowship Program is. And we are incredibly excited. Of the 15 companies, we have 7 from Southeast Asia, we have 7 from India, and then we have 1 from the Middle East. And what's exciting here is they cut across the spectrum, right? From consumer internet, edtech, fintech, SaaS, and also we have a Web3 company, a crypto company that is co-founded by 2 incredible women from India. So it cuts across the spectrum. So that, in a nutshell, is what we've launched this week.
Right. Why do you think that representation, though, in the startup space when it comes to women is so low, is disproportionately low? You were going through some of the statistics there at the start of the discussion. Is it because lack of mentorship, so you're trying to address that through the program that you're doing, or is it the inability to access capital, to access venture capital funds to be able to really get the startup business off the ground?
So I think it's a great question. We've spent a lot of time trying to understand this. I'd say the single biggest gap that we see is actually mentoring, right? Deep mentoring. Female founders for different reasons don't have the same level of access and networks that let's say their counterparts do, right? And as a result we find are not able to get the same level of mentoring. And that's why we decided to focus the Spark Fellowship entirely on mentoring, right? We do give a $100,000 sort of equity fee grant, but that's really meant to be a small part of the capital that they need in the early stages sort of to get to the next set of milestones. So I'd say mentoring is a very significant gap, but capital is also a gap, right? You can look at the numbers and the numbers speak for themselves, 12% in India and 20% in Southeast Asia. We do think, by the way, the capital, there is, we have, in our region, we have an abundance of capital, right? So in India, we've had over $30 billion of startup funding year to date. In Southeast Asia, the number is about half of that, so call it between 14 and 15 billion year to date. So we don't have a shortage of capital. And quite frankly, when we find the right set of entrepreneurs, right, we are able to invest. So if you look at the last cohort of Surge is Sequoia Capital India's seed stage platform where we provide capital and sort of a 15-week program. We had 10 female founders in our last cohort, right? So a third of our companies were actually founded by women, and in total we had 10 female founders in a cohort of 23. So we do think it's both of these, both mentoring as well as capital, and we're trying to really double down here on mentoring, which is where we think the most significant gap is.